This video is going to be split into a couple parts, and in the first one, I'll go over every new character we definitely know about. The ones that popped up really recently, no trademark leaks here because they won't really help us right now. And in the second part, I'll add a bit more about the characters and basically break down every leak we've got so far. It's pretty obvious that Huggy is going to be one of the main characters of the new chapter, because the devs literally confirm that. Same goes for the prototype, whose long-awaited appearance we'll finally get to see in Chapter 5. In the recent trailer, we saw two brand new characters who were hiding in the labs this whole time, and here we gotta stop for a sec. First off, let's talk about this weird character, Experiment 1202, who we only saw as a kind of shadow. From the trailer, we can understand two things. Either he's really dumb and sticks his bare hands into an electrical panel and obviously suffers from it, or he's doing some sort of mission that the prototype most likely gave him. Either way, I wouldn't put too much focus on this character because his whole situation really reminds me of Pianosaurus, who was also revealed through a shorts video, and in the end, his actual screen time in Chapter 4 was shorter than the promo that introduced him. If we look a bit at the trademark leaks, then for some reason the Poppy Playtime community is paying the most attention to Lily Lovebraids and Chum Chompkins, and I don't know why, but a lot of people are actually sure that this mysterious shadow belongs to Chum Chompkins. If we get into the details, you can notice that with every step, this character's body changes shape, which means he's made of some kind of liquid, and that in turn means he's a pretty versatile character, just like Doughy was in Chapter 4. Besides that mysterious monster, we also saw that same white doll, who already showed up in the Halloween teaser and in the artwork tied to the Fortnite collab. All we can really say about him is that he's small. Right now, that's literally the only thing we know for sure, but there's a pretty solid assumption that this so-called new monster is going to be a pretty important figure for us in Chapter 5, and most likely a positive character. Also, on that same Halloween image, they might have revealed one more character who's going to belong to the feline family. Not only does the carved face on one of the pumpkins hint at this, but also the fact that in the very first trailer for the new chapter, we saw an image on the wall showing all the characters that belong to this family. Even if we look at the new trailer, we can easily spot a creature that looks a lot like Yarnaby. It might be the same lion we saw back in Chapter 4, or it could be a completely new character we haven't met before who just happens to look really similar to Yarnaby. At this point, these are the most recent updates about the new characters. But before we jump into the next part of the video, I want to bring up this so-called leak. As far as I remember, the dev said there's nothing valuable in it, and maybe that's true, but still today, we're going to talk about one thing connected to this image. Fan favorite Braun also popped up in theories about Chapter 5, but Isaac already said they kept trying to add him, and it never worked out. Then he mentioned that since they couldn't fit Braun into the story properly, they at least made that VHS tape you're looking at right now. So yeah, no Braun in Chapter 5. And as for Pianosaurus making a comeback, that's a whole different joke. Just look at this response. It's pretty clear. Like the Nightmare Critters, Pianosaurus was never canon. So thinking about his return is just wishful thinking at best. Alright, looks like we've dealt with all the nonsense, so now we can move on to the more interesting possibilities. Y'all remember that mysterious hat they've been teasing for ages, right? By now, it's no secret that all those hints were leading up to one of the best characters in Poppy Playtime history, Doughy the Doughman. And honestly, one of the concept designs even came kinda close to his actual look. But aside from all those hats, we once saw a weird image with some kind of silhouette hidden in it. Before the gameplay trailer dropped, we were sure those hats and that clown were pointing to a specific character, but now everything's changed, and this mysterious clown might actually be one of the new monsters. We know for sure it's not Doughy, so who the hell is this clown? If you follow fan-made content, you've probably seen a dude named Lulu the Clown, and I gotta admit, he caught my attention. Now, obviously, we're not going to see him exactly as he appears in fan concepts, but something similar could definitely show up in Chapter 5. We all know how much Mob Entertainment loves their Easter eggs and hidden references. That being said, I don't think he's going to follow Doughy's story arc. I seriously doubt they'll give us another friendly character who turns on us in the end. But hey, there's always a twist, and I actually have a really interesting theory about that, which I'll get into in just a minute. But before that, let's talk about one of the smiling critters. I came across a theory online about their return, and honestly, it kind of got my attention. I'll say right away, the chances are small, but they're still there. Everyone remembers that critter, Hoppy Hopscotch, right?
Wanna try hopping to the moon with me? On 3 with me. 1, 2, 3! Heh, didn't get very far, did we? Jump! Jump!
And back then, there were already tons of suspicions that Hoppy was still alive, and that her desperate scream wasn't because of the prototype attacking or anything like that, but simply because she jumped way too high. The following distortions also hint at this. Plus, one of the VHS tapes once again teases Hoppy.
Thanks, Doughy. Sorry we lost the supplies. It won't happen again.
The important thing is you're both okay. Aside from that bite, that is.
But let's be real, this theory has the right to exist, even though it seems pretty unlikely. What do you guys think about it? And of course, in Chapter 4, something happened that many had already suspected since Chapter 3. Ollie actually turned out to be the prototype. Ollie had been helping us for a long time, and we seriously considered him an ally. But in the final scene of Chapter 4, the moment many had been waiting for finally happened, while others were genuinely shocked by this plot twist.
Shelf ventilation block B6. Is this where you are, Poppy?
What?
Stay where you are.
And listen closely. You're not going to run. You're not going to fight. The charade is over.
Who is this?
An obvious question with an obvious answer.
That good old buddy Ollie? Yeah. Turns out he never actually talked to us. Dude's probably been dead for a while now, and the prototype just straight up jacked his voice. Wild, right? I mean, Ollie always seemed like this chill, helpful guy, but in the end, he kind of betrayed us. Well, sorta. So, if we lost someone like him, wouldn't it make total sense for Chapter 5 to throw in another Ollie-type character? Hopefully this time, not just the prototype in disguise. And that's where the clown comes in. Why not, right? What if he takes Ollie's place? We meet him at the start, he helps us out, seems all friendly, and then, boom, he backstabs us and hands us over to the prototype at the worst possible moment. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Now, the theory that Chapter 5 is going to be the grand finale is gaining more and more traction. And if that's the case, it's pretty much guaranteed we're finally going to face the prototype. Not much to say about him. Everyone's already convinced he's showing up, whether this is the last chapter or not. Huggy, though, that's where things get interesting. We know he's one of the prototype's minions, and it totally looks like he's going to be a villain in Chapter 5. But what if there's another side to this? We all know Kissy, and the fact that she's on our side is as obvious as needing water to survive. And if we go back to Sleep Well, we see shots of Huggy and Kissy together. They're actually really close friends. So some folks think Kissy might be able to change Huggy's mind and turn him into our ally. Personally, I don't buy it. Here's how I think it's gonna go down. Huggy shows up, door behind us opens, we manage to escape, running, and then poof, Huggy's gone. Later we run into someone who looks like Lulu, we play through the game, Lulu betrays us, we finally meet the prototype. He disappears, then Huggy pops up again, we take him down, and of course, we get one final showdown with the prototype